really just want to make a level cup. A little more sod into these low areas, fine tune this just a little bit as I lower them. You can set them any way that you want to, but what we're doing is we're defining. So we wound up lowering the cups about 4 inches on this side, so we're actually using the string level, and this string. So what do you have, Andy? What are your measurements? From this cup to this cup, he's got the string line level, and then the cup sleeve actually raises up 2 inches. So that's on our high side. So we don't want to have more elevation than that 2 inches. I'm going to start getting it level. Or excuse me, our cup sleeves. We have all of our cup sleeves right where we want them. This one's about 2 inches high. This one's almost level. Remember, don't have to rake it around much. Places where you're putting across the undulation. I'm not. So this edge over here to the left, that's where we piled the sod upside down. And once I got a little bit of the loose dirt on top of the area, and then also put a little bit of sand, I got it wet with a water hose, and then actually ran the plate compactor over it quite a bit. Renting a plate compactor for $65 can help a lot. You can hand tamp all this, but it would just add a lot more labor. It's worth the time if there's any, or excuse me, worth the money if there's any way you can get it to your job site. But we've got a little thin layer of sand across the entire green, and there's about 2 inches of concrete around this cup, kind of below the surface. And what that does is create that protective housing for the sleeve. The sleeve is actually 8 inches, but it's gotten full of dirt. No problem, we can always shop vac that out. You can see where I'm building the sand up around this cup, and what I want to do is do the final floating out with the sand and take it right to the top of the cup. I'll show that in the next video. Before you roll the turf out, you're going to want to use a trowel around the cups and just float it out so it meets the cups perfectly. So we've got quite a bit of sand on the green, and now what we're doing is nailing the outside of the fringe. So you'll spread the fibers apart so that your nail doesn't catch them, and then you'll just put it right on the edge. All right, you put it up. So what we're doing now is we're spreading the sand out over the top of the green. We actually put about 3 bags. We had it in a wheelbarrow. We usually pour it on through a drop spreader, but we had some sand that we had to dry out, so the step got a little bit skipped. But so we've covered the entire green with sand, and it's real important that the sand is dry. So on top of the turf, we're actually sanding, placing sand, infill sand on top of the green, and you can see it's kind of blonde right now, but by the time we get finished, it will turn green. Now what Andy's about to do is, since the green is getting stable because of the sand going on top, Andy's going to cut this cup in right here. Show us, Andy. And we'll tighten that up a little bit, and wherever it needs trimmed in, we'll cut a little bit back and clean it up. Different ways. So I'm just brooming using this broom and doing short strokes. I'm going to crosshatch the green. That's what we call it with a push broom. And I'm just going to go one continuous sweep and then all the way off. Turn around and come back. And as I said, it's not going to be real consistent right now, but what we're going to do is keep brooming this until it becomes... So you can see the sand is almost all the way broomed in. I know the shadow is making it kind of inconsistent looking, but we got a little bit of sand on top of it. But when it rains, that'll come down, the sand level will. So we're not too worried about that right now. We got a nice clean finish.